Hello and welcome to 3.1 Lab 2. Go ahead and open this file in your browser, 3.1 Lab 2, and open it in your Visual Studio here. Make it a little bigger so you can see it easier. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some more debugging here. If you look at this, what I don't want you to do is fix the errors first. What I want you to do is one at a time fix the errors, get used to using the inspector. So if we go down and scroll down to where our code is going to be, okay, yes, we have errors that our IDE is showing us, but I also want you to start on the inspection side and see how these things kind of all work together. So initially when we're looking at our page, we don't have any errors other than no output. So I need to open up inspect element. I'm going to go to my console, and we're going to fix these errors one at a time. I've mentioned in a previous video, you may have multiple errors. You may fix one error and then it shows up another error, and so we just need to knock them out one at a time. So let's take a look at this first one and see what we've got. Syntax error. Remember, syntax error is where we have a problem where our code is not written the way that the JavaScript interpreter expects it. We're not following the rules. And it says it has an unexpected identifier, and it's on line 95 according to our console here. So if I go down to line 95, unexpected identifier, an identifier is as var. It identifies first name as a variable. So it does not recognize VA. So it's an unexpected identifier. So it's a syntax issue. So if I make that var and save it, and let's go back and refresh our screen. So we fixed that issue, but now we have another syntax error, unexpected token illegal on line 96. So if we go back and we go down to line 96, unexpected token illegal, what this means is, with the syntax error, is we always have to match up our things like quotes and curly braces and parentheses. Here we're missing a quote. So if I put that in there, and by the way, just while I'm here, let me take that back out. The red squiggly lines, as you're programming, will show you this stuff as well. So you might head off some errors that way by paying attention to those red squiggly lines. Let me refresh my screen. Now we have another syntax error, unexpected token plus on line 97. So here, this is a mistake where we have a plus there, and we're not, whenever you use the plus, you're either adding or concatenating within code. Here, it's in a line where you're assigning a value to a variable, so it makes no sense. It's a syntax error to have it there. So what we need to do is we actually need to turn that into an equal sign, and that fixes that one. Now we have another syntax error, unexpected token parenthesis, closing parenthesis on line 103. So if I go down to 103, I have an unexpected parenthesis there, and this one's a little weird in the fact that it tells you, hey, it didn't expect, it's an unexpected parenthesis. When you look at that, you're like, well, wait a minute, if statements, you have an opening and close parenthesis. What it means by unexpected parenthesis is it didn't expect a parenthesis right after the first parenthesis. We have to have a conditional statement in there. So if I write the word true, for example, now that fixes that error. We have a condition in there that we're meeting. So now I have another one on line 107, another syntax error, unexpected identifier. So if I go down to here, this has to do with where we have some quotes, apostrophe single quotes that we're using to wrap our statement. But there's a couple ways we can fix this. I can either change these to double quotes here on both sides, which is what I would probably do, or if I want to use that escape character, you know, by putting in that backslash, I could do that as well. Either one would work. So now I have another one on line 109, another syntax error, unexpected identifier. So if I go down to 109, this is the same error where I have some quote issues. In this case, since I'm saying she said hi and I need those quotes, I'm going to use the escape clause, and I got to escape out both of them there so that it actually displays the quotes. And then if I refresh here, I have another syntax error, unexpected token. This time it's a curly brace on line 115. So if I go down to line 115, notice what has happened here is it has an unexpected curly brace when what really needs to be used there are parentheses. So it says it's unexpected there. It did not expect to have a curly brace. It expects after the number function to have parentheses around it. And then an unexpected identifier on line 117, another syntax error. This one here, what's happened is it says, okay, I'm trying to document, write out the words 37 and then the number variable, but remember, in order to do this, we have to use concatenation, so I need a plus symbol in there to tell it to add them together. So if I go back and refresh, now I get a reference error. It's not a syntax error, I have a reference error. Number of variables not defined. So if I go back, what's happened here is I'm trying to use number variable here, but number variable does not exist up here. So I either have to do one of two things. I either have to create number variables similar to this var 30, or I have to actually change that variable to a number variable. So now here, what I would probably do in this case, because we have number variable here, we also have number variable being used up here and number variable being used up here, and we're trying to get to the number 37, it looks like, and we're starting with 30. What I would probably do is I would set var number variable, because I don't want to overwrite the number 30 here. So now I've defined it. So now it'll take the number variable equal to number variable plus 7 and make it 37. Let's see if that actually works. Okay, so here, let me just show you what this space issue is here, how it pops it over. All that is because we're inside of a pre-tag. Pre-tag respects white space. So in order to get this to be spaced over, I'm just going to refresh here and fix this really quick. And what's happened is don't worry about the spacing, I'm just trying to make it look a little nicer here. That space is going to be there because we have this other space. So because it's respecting all of this space right here on our document write statement. So don't worry about that. It's just because we're inside of a pre-tag. But we have some issues here that are not syntax related, not going to show up on our console, but are not getting, these are logic errors, or not getting the output we expect. So let's take a look at some of these. First of all, we have this statement, is this true? Are we expecting that? Yes, because our if statement is true. Then we have this statement, here's a fine error, another break, she said hi, another break. And then we have 25 times 72. So what I'm going to do is let's just double check real quick. Sometimes it's helpful to do the math, and let's see, 1800, that's what we expect. So we are getting 1800, but then we have here an error, not a number. So if we go back down here, it's 25 times 10. Now let's see what this error actually is. It's not a number. So here we have 25 times 10. Now when the JavaScript interpreter, even though this is a string, when it sees the numbers in the string, it'll do the type conversion for us behind the scenes. But where our real issue lies is right here. We're trying to multiply the number 25 times the word 10. So if we change that to 10, and let's refresh here and take a look. See, it did the type conversion for us. Now we have 250. Now, in practice though, unless you want these explicitly to be strings, I would probably not have them be strings. I would probably have them be actual numbers so that we don't run into any other issues. Okay. Same thing with the 72. Even though it's not causing us issues, it's probably a good idea to change that. Refresh here. Okay, now lastly we have 37, not a number. So let's see what happens here. So our number variable is returning not a number. So let's trace this back. Here we're taking the value of number variable and adding 7 to it. And here the number variable is where it's being assigned. And then we go up here. Here's our problem. We have a number variable that is undefined. So we're taking something that's undefined and trying to add 7 to it. So what we would have to do is have to start this off with something like a 0 so that we have it added to it. So now if I refresh, I get I no longer get the NaN, I get the number 7. Now here we have another logic issue where it's supposed to be 37, so if I go back, I probably should not use the number variable there. I probably should use this variable 30 to get it to actually be 37. So 30 plus 7. Let's refresh. Let's see what this gives us. There, we have 37. So as you can see, sometimes there's errors that show up in the inspector and the console, like syntax errors and things like that. But sometimes there are errors where you're getting output. It's just not functioning as you've designed it. And that's when you have to go back through and expand and look upon your code. You may have to use alerts. You may have to use some extra document rights or console logs to write things to the console to get it to work the way you want it to work. If you have any questions, let me know, and happy coding.